Welcome to True Health Tuesday, and the truth will set you free. Today, understanding cancer, and this is huge. We're going to give a lot of data. Now, this was inspired by a recent comment. Now, please talk about thymoma tumors because they're rare and we cannot treat them in the Arab world. Even with surgery, many times, and chemotherapy, the tumors on the pleural lining of the lung did not respond. El Hamon. Now, so why is cancer so prevalent now? Like if we had a herd of caribou and half of the herd was getting cancer, are we just living longer as human beings? Is our food supply toxic? Are therapies used to address abnormal cells or cancer cells like the chemo, vaccines, something that we can't talk about, medications, are they contributing to the epidemic? And are there less toxic, more effective therapies available? Well, when we look at this, and what cancer means crab in Greek. So the body forms tumors, and I want you to understand this. The tumors aren't formed by demons or anything else. Now it's to wall off certain toxins. Now, if the body still has that exposure to the abnormal cells, then the body builds blood vessels going up to it, like angiogenesis. So that's called angiogenesis. So when you have the central location and blood vessels going out, what does it look like? It looks like a crab. And that's where we get it. Now, your immune system already is there. And this is really not one system. It's your body's response to pathogens. Now, phagocytes, phago means chewing up or eating up. Now, these are cells like neutrophils, macrophages that engulf and destroy pathogens. Now, phagocytosis is an important part of the cleaning process after cellular death and destruction, following infection or any other process that leads to cell death. Now, after the battle, both phagocytes and bacteria can be trapped in a pasty liquid rich in structural proteins known as pus. You know, we've all had zits and acne before. Now, what's interesting, your body produces 10,000 abnormal cells every day. Now, this is the body. The little guy is the immune system cell, or the cell that's going to be responsible for protecting it. First, it identifies the pathogen, attaches to it, blows it apart, and then you're left with just the matrix. Now, your body builds 1 billion cells a day, and 10,000 of those are abnormal cells. So we already have the processes of actually addressing those abnormal cells in the system. But now what if you're producing more unhealthy cells? And that is the key. This is why when we look at this, let's look at your body's response to an infection or a pathogen. Number one, fever. Why? For every 1 degree increase in temperature, the speed of the immune system doubles. So 104 temperature, that means that your response to pathogens is 64 times faster. Now, increased mucus production. Fantastic. That walls off the invader. And then the T cells, lymphocytes, neutrophils, all of these go in and attack and kill the pathogens that's trying to kill you. And then you eliminate the dead tissue through coughing, sneezing, sweating, bowel movements, urination. Amazing. And then your body can restore and rebuild. Now, it's interesting. Why are effective non-toxic therapies not promoted by the standard oncologist? The quality of your life depends on the quality of questions you're asking. Why is it only surgery, chemo, and radiation promoted? Isn't that interesting? Well, let's look at Robert Atkins. Quote, "There's not one, but many cures for cancer available, but they're all being systematically suppressed by the American Cancer Society and the National Cancer Institute and the major oncology centers. They have too much of an interest in the status quo." Samuel Epstein, brilliant doctor. "We are not dealing with a scientific problem. We're dealing with a political issue." I'm in total agreement. The Truth About Cancer, brilliant. I think it was censored a lot. You can still find it. I recommend you looking at the entire series. Dr. Irvin Chani. If an oncologist wanted to discuss other alternatives, such as natural means of curing your cancer, they would probably be investigated by the medical board and possibly even prosecuted in some cases, depending on the situation. Not only are they not incentivized to do it, but I think a lot of cases they're probably scared to even bring up some of these truths. Now, if I had this in 2019, because I did, we've had a couple of these videos wiped out, but now you can understand that doctors doing a different approach than the recommended, even though they're right, they're going to be censored and vilified. That's why I encourage you to open your mind and look at this a little bit different. Thomas Seyfried, world-renowned researcher in the field of genetics and biochemistry, spent the majority of his career researching cancer and genetics. And he came to the conclusion cancer is a metabolic disease. And it makes sense. And listen to this quote from him. No real progress has been made in the management of advanced or metastatic cancer for more than 40 years. The number of people dying each year and each day has changed little in the more than the last 10 years. So you got to figure people are not suffering from lack of chemotherapy or lack of radiation. Now, what is a metabolic disorder? When we look at this, your metabolism, it's the process your body uses to get or make energy from the food you eat. Now, food's made up of protein, carbohydrates, fats, and the chemicals in your digestive system break down these food parts into fatty acids, usable sugars, and it's your body's fuel. Now, your body can use this fuel right away, or it can store it in the energy in your body tissues, such as your liver, your muscles, your body fat. Now, a metabolic disorder occurs when abnormal chemical reactions in your body disrupt this process. When this happens, you might find too much of some substances or too little of other ones that you need to stay healthy. There are different groups of this disorder. Some affect the breakdown of amino acids, the breakdown of carbohydrates or of fats or lipids. Another group, mitochondrial diseases, affect the parts of the cell that produce the energy. Now, cancer is a metabolic disorder. It's not a genetic disease. And when you look at this, most of the fact that cancer is, the view that most cancer is genetic is no longer credible. Absolutely. You can't have a genetic epidemic. Most cancer, regardless of the cell or tissue of origin, is a singular disease of respiratory insufficiency coupled with compensatory fermentation. There's not really hundreds of cancer types that we need to be studied separately. There is a common mechanism for treating all cancers. Now, some of the factors that cause this respiratory insufficiency, age, viral load, infections, low oxygen, inflammation, environmental toxins, radiation, and carcinogens. Now, cancer cells depend largely on glucose. They're high metabolic, and glucose is a great source of energy and glutamine metabolism for survival, growth, and proliferation. Restricted access to glucose and glutamine will compromise cancer cells' growth and survival. When cancer cells do not have glucose to nourish them, they die. So my diet change is huge. But the protection of mitochondria from oxidative stress or damage will prevent or reduce the risk of cancer. This is why antioxidants prevent cancer. When we look at lifestyle changes need to manage and prevent cancer, this means there's no magic pill. There's not a cure for cancer because your body forms cancer. You got to go after the cause. We must change your relationship with food, lifestyle to prevent and cure cancer. A new era will emerge for cancer management and prevention once cancer becomes recognized as a metabolic disease. And when we look at this, the quality of your life depends on the quality of questions you ask. Think of modern science, and I'm talking way back in the 1300s. And if you had good insurance, you would get a bleeding. Now, bleeding was practiced for over 5,000 years, and they would drain the bad blood out. Then, if you had really good insurance or good money, then they would give you quicksilver or mercury injections. And they advocated that that disease came from sin and evil spirits, and they've always done this. That no questioning, no strengthening the immune system. So it's insane if you look at this, and we could look at modern society. This is it. Is any human being suffering from a lack of chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery? Cancer does not cause you to lose your hair, but the therapies that are going after the fast-growing cells, this is why it's not addressing the cause. And I'm a big cause-oriented person. So when you look at the 5 keys to health, when we talk about nerve supply, we've got that automatic nervous system. One part keeps you alive under stress, the other part regenerates tissue. And think of these 5 keys to health. Your body builds 1 billion cells a day. If you're in a stress state, instead of 10,000 abnormal cells a day, maybe you're producing 20,000 or 100,000. Regular exercise, you exercise every day, fantastic. But if you have a sedentary lifestyle or extreme exercise, both extremes on those are going to cause a disruption in their tissue production. Nutrition, if you have really good nutrients, just like your great-great-grandparents, organic, healthy, varied, then your body can metabolize it. If you're eating toxic, sick food, you're producing more unhealthy cells. So let's say you have a stress state, poor exercise, toxic food, and then add in poor sleep pattern. It sleeps when the body regenerates. And then you don't do any prayer or meditation. So your body is in a chronic state of stress. So instead of 10,000 abnormal out of the billion, then you're producing 100,000 or 200,000 out of the billion. And your body is going to start to wall off these toxins. Okay. And this is why, if they're going after the tumor has the actual problem, instead of it's a metabolic response that the body forms the tumor, you're not going to have success. And we've all known people that have done the surgery, the chemo, the radiation, they've been declared cancer free, bam, and then the cancer returns. Okay. And they say, we just didn't get it in time. You've got this autonomic nervous system in 2 parts. One is for regeneration, the other is for stress. And when you're under physical, chemical, or emotional stress, that fight or flight system kicks in. You've got the adrenals tied to that. You've got the thyroid tied to the parasympathetic. And so when you're in a stress state, you're not going to be metabolizing healthy nutrients as well as you should. And I love this. When you're looking at Ron Perel, New York Preventive Medicine Institute, chiropractic care can strengthen your immune system up to 300% stronger than those not receiving chiropractic care. You're looking at telomere lengthening. Why would that do that? Why would chiropractic care do it? Well, because you're altering or clearing the interference of your controlling system called the nervous system. And when you're in a chronic state of stress, if the chiropractic adjustments through the thoracic, cervical, lumbar, pelvis area, and the pelvis and cervical spine house the parasympathetic nervous system, resting, digesting, and repairing. No kidding. And then optimize your gut flora. So if you take in toxins, you take in poisons, and I mean processed foods, packaged foods, foods with pesticides that are laden. Pesticides are loaded with estrogens. How about an organic plant-based diet? And plant-based doesn't mean vegan. It means you're eating a lot of plants, okay? And you could eat healthy animals. Coconut oil, olive oil, healthy fats, fermented veggies, probiotic supplements, juice vegetables, blended fruits, raw healthy dairy, reduce omega-6 and increase omega-3 animal fats. Vitamin C, Ronald Huntington, and now internationally recognized expert on vitamin C. And I love this 15-year-long research project, RECNAC, cancer spelled backwards, groundbreaking research that shows cell cultures that vitamin C was selectively cytotoxic against cancer cells. So if you're going to treat cancer and you can't rely upon one modality, even though we focus on IV vitamin C at our clinic, we measure nutrient levels. We have people re-examine their diet. We encourage detoxification, regular exercise, adequate sleep, improving interpersonal relationships. All of these can have a bearing on your outcome in cancer. Oh my gosh. See, when doctors are going after the cause and to strengthen your body's ability to regenerate, he's saying exercise, sleep, emotional components, detoxing strategies. See, we're all going after the same, the ability of the body to build healthier cells faster than you build the sick ones. Turmeric, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, anti-neoplastic, that's an anti-tumor, antioxidant. We look at spinach and every dark green leafy vegetable. We're talking kale and collard greens and Swiss chard, romaine lettuce. It's rich in lutein, zeaxanthin, carotenoids. Now, that remove unstable molecules called free radicals. Now, this is huge because this figure inflammation or oxidative metabolic process is a breakdown and buildup of cells. Those cells create free radicals that can damage healthy cells. So every dark green leafy vegetable can help protect against cancers of the mouth, the esophagus, stomach, ovarian, endometrial, lung, colorectal. Garlic, onions, leeks, chives, scallions help against colon cancer. The alanine is amazing in it. Carrots, okay, best eaten cooked or juice. Again, look at carrot juice in the Gerson therapy. When you look up these forbidden therapies, and that's why a lot of the clinics are in Mexico, one of the reasons we have one down there. But beta carotene is a powerful antioxidant and may protect cell membranes from toxin damages the growth of cells. Carrot juice, again, can help protect and deal with esophageal cancers, stomach cancers, cervical, the antioxidant effects against the HPV. Carrots contain phalcarinol, a natural pesticide. Also, and when you look at this, carrots are grown in the warm, moist environment of the earth. So they also have anti-mold properties. And steaming them, boiling them, breaking down the matrix, juicing them are a great way to release more of the nutrients than just eating. And then look at berries. And obviously, when I'm talking about plants and fruits and veggies, it's got to be organic. Strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, cranberries, super rich in antioxidants and phytonutrients. Strawberries are rich in anthocyanins, flavonoids, vitamin C, oleic acid. Protection against heart disease, memory decline, also helps against colon cancer, lung cancers, cancer of the mouth, esophagus, stomach. Because remember, it's a metabolic disorder. If you get nutrients that you could break down and utilize, then your body can build healthy cells. Then look at broccoli, cabbage, kale, cauliflower, these phytochemicals called glucosinolates, enzymes, sulfurane, detoxify harmful substances such as smoke and other environmental pollutants. Again, protect cancers of the mouth, esophagus, stomach. Vitamin D, amazing. This is why we recommend direct sunlight exposure. If you're in the northern or southern extremes, you may have to use lights that are infrared and ultraviolet. But the best, if you do not have access to the sunlight, and I'm talking 15, 20 minutes between 11 and 1 o'clock, it's the greatest nutrient for your body, but it's got to be produced. And this is why when you're looking at vitamin D absorption, you don't want to shower for several hours after that sunlight exposure because you want that vitamin D to be produced. And it will help you against pancreatic and breast cancer and colon and rectal cancer. Now, these, and this is a dangerous territory we're creeping in on, proven cancer therapies. They are not recognized by a lot of medical agencies because they utilize non-toxic and non-patentable therapies. Gerson, I encourage you to look at that. Laetrile, B17, or at least look into B17 and bitter almonds, literally apricot kernels. Vitamin B6, Brzezinski, brilliant warrior. Okay, the rave diet, eliminate toxins. Simoncini, Dr. Lorraine Day, amazing. It's literally avoid pharmaceuticals because those alter mitochondrial function, and you need the powerhouses of the cell. Avoid toxins, and then look at your detoxing pathways because it is a metabolic disorder. You got to take in nutrients, you got to utilize those nutrients, produce healthy proteins to rebuild your body, and eliminate waste products. Infrared sauna is one of the ways to eliminate the waste products. Detoxing, hyperbaric chambers, IVs, ozone therapy. We use hydrogen peroxide, healthy mindset, exercises. When you look at all of these different solutions, and I encourage you to do your own research, drday.com, Dr. Lorraine Day, brilliant. When you look at the number that why isn't the doctor giving you alternatives, and that means why your body formed it. It's not bad luck or bad genes. So when we look at the 5 keys to health, And we talk about healthy autonomic function. That means you've got to have a balanced regenerative capability and ability to deal with stress effectively. So you need the nervous system clear of interference so your body can respond correctly. You need regular exercise. Too little is bad for your body, too much is bad for your body. Proper nutrition. This means that you can metabolize the nutrients, and this means no packaged, processed, pesticide-laden, toxic, poisonous foods that are devoid of enzymes. Sufficient rest is when your body regenerates. You've got to have that deep sleep and prayer and meditation. You can see that there's harmonies and there's when you look at all of the therapies that are effective in reversing the abnormal cells that are a cancer, they utilize all 5 of these keys to health. Okay, they may do it in different ways, like the nutrients, they may do juicing and blending, but they're going to talk about prayer and sleep and interpersonal relationships and movement of your body and clearing any interference. Now, I encourage you to post your questions and comments down below this video. We're going to get to as many of them as we can. And we do have to divide them up. Heck, this one, we're already putting dangerous information out. And we've had hundreds of our videos wiped out. So we are going to have to divide up the questions into what we can respond on the general social media, and then those that go into the Dr. BVIP, where I can speak more freely. And God bless you all. Know that your body is designed here. If you build your healthy cells faster than they break down, that's health. If you're building unhealthy cells, then that means that you have a lack of ease or a disease. You're designed for this planet. You're made in the image and likeness of God. God bless you all. Stay healthy, my friends.